Damn, I'm pretty. All right. I'm Charlie.
I'm Charles.
And you are watching Boo Hurt Is Love, the only podcast, not only, the best podcast.
The ultimate
podcast on the internets for all things armored combat. Today's episode is brought to you by Zevia.
No, it's not. It never has been.
So, anyway, these are either I have Stockholm Syndrome or these are really delicious.
This actually tastes good. This one's really good.
That Dr. Zevia tastes like a Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, I love Mr. Pibb.
I do not. But it is better than nothing, I guess.
You don't like no Pibb Extra, man?
No.
Love it.
Gotta have the original, man.
Love that stuff.
It's not what the doctor ordered. I promise you that.
Charlie, you messaged me on the way here talking about you had some kind of really good news or something to tell me, or some kind of news.
If our listeners will remember that in the last episode, I lodged a formal complaint with the powers that be in Boo Hurt,
the PTB, if you will,
that War in the North should not ever be a 5 tournament.
Never ever. No
Never.
need.
No need for it.
No need.
30 minutes after the episode dropped,
okay,
I started getting messages from people letting me know that it was now a 12 tournament. So, I don't actually know if our podcast had any effect on that, but I'm going to take credit anyway.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
So it looks like War in the North is going to be a Boo Hurt International 12s tournament. So
excellent.
Which is a fantastic decision. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Yeah. Awesome. We will be there. So we'll be bringing Team Texas. We just started selection for Team Texas today. So it's going to go through our illustrious team captain, Tanner Cox.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
the one, the only.
Yes, the winningest 10s and 16s captain in the history of the sport.
Winningest mass battles.
It's not mass battles.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
mass battles are above 16, dude.
Oh, jeez. Oh well.
I mean, there are no winners in mass battles. It's all reenactment.
You say there's no winners in mass battles.
I mean,
I disagree.
Whoever brings the longest polearm, that's the winner. So, all right, for those of you that are new to the show, we'll talk formats for just a little bit. Okay, so Boo Hurt is fought. Boo Hurt meaning armor combat. Boo Hurt means to smash. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the point of our sport is to throw people to the ground. Mm-hmm. And
a lot more information about that on our first few
episodes. You want to go back and see an in-depth dive into that. But we're in a nutshell, we're fighting to the team with the last man standing. Mm-hmm. The predominant division in our sport is the 5s. And I think
everybody has a 5s team.
That used to be described as kind of the dogfight of the sport.
Yeah.
But with the current meta, it's more like the ground game in BJJ.
Yeah, it's real slow.
Yeah, it's a vertical ground game. We play it on the rail. It's primarily fought on the rail, and it's not all that great for the fans to watch.
Very true. Okay. There's definitely a maximum skill level that it's fun to watch at.
Silver Division Carnage.
Yeah,
that's the funnest 5s to watch.
Absolutely.
Now, once you get into the gold division and you start seeing teams that are fighting hard up, straight up 2-1-2 meta, which when we talk 2-1-2, we have 2 people on the left rail, a center, and 2 people on the right rail. Okay, just for a quick review, our rail guy, we have a rail fighter and a wing. All right, rail, wing, center, wing, rail.
Exactly.
Okay? And the 2-1-2 is the idea behind the 2-1-2 is that the rail pairs fight as a team. Mm-hmm. Their team tactics between those two are very important to that division. Mm-hmm. And those guys are grappling. They're grappling and strikes are we're striking for effect, not takedowns.
Exactly. Right? You're normally going to strike to get an assist.
Yes.
If you get a takedown, cool, but
mostly it'll be an assist. Or for funsies.
Because you felt like it.
Yeah. So that's kind of 5s in a nutshell. All right. There is the next division up is going to be 10s and 12s. We combine those into one because one of our International bodies
Yeah,
uses 12s. That's Boohurt International. And the other one is IMCF, and they do 10s. And they're, for tactics and how they play, they're virtually identical.
Yeah, they're really, really similar. Yeah.
And it plays more like a rugby or a football game. Not that there's a ball and a goal and stuff. We're still fighting the last man standing, but there's a lot more dynamic things happening on the field.
A lot more of an analog, a better analog.
And this is a hill I will die on. 10s, 12s is my favorite division. It is the future of the sport.
Yeah.
The rounds tend to last a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
There's more going on the field, and it's easier for the fans to follow because it takes a little bit longer to develop. Our average round time as Warlords now is under 40 seconds.
Very, very quick.
And with a lot of them under 20 seconds. Okay, so that's very hard for fans to follow. And
it's over so fast.
And the ones that are drug out for a long time are very grapple heavy on the rail, and they're not interesting to watch.
Exactly.
Okay? With a 10s tournament, you still really need your rail pairs.
Absolutely.
But now you get another position that we call the slot.
The slot. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Third man out from the rail, not your center.
What does a slot do?
A slot fishes. A slot strikes.
So what do we mean by fishing?
Fishing, you reach out. Your objective is to make contact and get somebody close and get somebody into your line.
Yeah, we're trying to hook them with a long axe and rip
Pull
them behind
them.
our line. Now you have two slots, the 3 and the 4, and they kind of work together. All right. So what is the 4 position slot? What's his goal?
4 position slot is since your 3 position slot's normally going to be like an X guy.
He's an X guy. So the 3 position, if he's not fishing, he's supporting the first 2, right? And you need a long axe for the 3, right? And so he's striking, keeping their 3 and 4 off the rail, because the rail is where the battle happens. They have to initiate the battle, right? So the 3 is there to support those 2. He is their axe man, right? Now the 4th person, when we're fishing, is what's he doing?
He's to make sure that people stays off of your slot, and so your slot can fish, strike, whatever. Yeah. If your slot grabs somebody,
he's there to drop the guy that the slot brings back through grappling or axe strikes. Now on Team Texas, it's usually a dude striking. We are trying. If you get pulled behind the line, we are trying to drop you through pain compliance. Other teams will use it. We sometimes use a heavy grappler there.
Riot tactics, pull them.
Riot tactics, pull them in and grapple them down. That's old Striking Eagle stuff.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah.
Back in the ACL days, still 100% valid. Just a little bit different way of doing stuff. The 5 slot. Okay. They kind of control the middle of the field. You got 2 5s, one from each side, and at that point we're together in the middle of the field in the 10s, and they control that midfield.
They're kind of the center.
They're running the center. They're keeping each of the slots covered so they don't get cross checked.
Exactly.
They're looking for maybe a deep dive in behind the line early in the round to get the lines to fold. It's a very dynamic position.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of 10s and 12s in a nutshell. When we go to 16s, same thing, just more dudes.
Basically, yeah.
Yep, it's just more dudes.
A lot more guys.
And between 10s and 16s is the sweet spot of the sport.
16s is where I have my only international gold medal from. Is the 16s.
I've got 16s and 10s in Mexico for me. So, and once you get above 16s, you're in the mass battles. That's 21s and 30s. For right now, only Boohurt International does those.
Yeah.
IMCF does not do that.
Oh yeah, IMCF used to do 21s, but they don't.
They've never done 21s. They've always stopped at 16s because IMCF is more sport oriented and less on the reenactment. When we get to mass battles, it's really more about the reenactment, right? It's more of a line battle. It looks more like what you would see in the movies.
Yeah. Okay. Sire said there might be a 200
versus
200
or something. He's trying. Big news.
Big news.
Big news. If you are a Boohurt fighter anywhere in the United States or the world and you didn't make your national team,
come anyways.
Come to Houston anyway, because Cyrus is putting on, and this is not just for funsies. There's going to be medals. It's competitive. It is a competitive event for the biggest mass battle on record. Is what we're trying to do. The biggest one so far has been 150 v 150, and we're trying to at least get to 150,
More than that,
150.
yeah.
So
I would love to do a 200 versus 200.
I mean, I'm gonna do it once, just to
no.
say I did it.
Listen.
Just to say I did it. I don't know I'll do it any more than that, but I'll do it once.
Let me make an announcement. Knights of Wakanda, if you have, he knew this. He didn't know this was coming, but he knew it was coming. Knights of Wakanda, if you don't make any other tournament ever, I don't care who you are. If you're in that group chat, I want to see your keister on that field for the mass battles. Figure out what you need to figure out. Get you a tabard. Figure it out, folks. I want all of my Knights of Wakanda in there.
Then in like 21s and 30s, I don't think BI has done 21s since the Battle of Nations days. So I don't know if we do 21s. Right, I don't know if 21s is currently in the rule set or not. But 30s they go up to 30s, and 30s becomes that line battle.
Yeah.
Now, good news. All right. BI, instead of the 30s being just a bunch of tourists and leftovers this year, they're putting together an actual 30s team. Okay, that's huge. Johnny Porter's captaining it. Johnny Porter's one of the best fighters in the U.S. And so, if you want to go to Hungary, jump on the 30s team, man. I'm there for 12s, so I'm doing one event in Hungary, and that is 12s, and I'm limiting myself to one event because 2 weeks later is IMCF. So, and I'm doing 5s and 10s at IMCF. So I'm only doing one event in Hungary. That's going to be the 12s, because I think that is the future of the sport. So, also because of BJ, we didn't make the 5s. BJ. Now, to be honest, since I'm limiting myself to one event, I probably wouldn't have fought on 5s anyway.
Fair.
Because I really want to do 12s. Like that to me is the future of the sport. So I want to see a lot more 12s tournaments. So I think hopefully with War in the North now being a BI tournament, that opens up IMCF to host another 10s tournament.
That would be dope. That'll be real dope.
So
Boo Hurt is Love tennis tournament? Question mark.
I mean, that could be talked into it.
Wasn't that the Lone Star Cup's initial?
Way back in the day, Lone Star Cup started because we were supposed to host a 10s tournament for ACL, and that fell apart because the guys running ACL were
also fell apart.
Yeah.
Daddy and Daddy had a fight.
Yeah. So, and since then, Lone Star Cup has been a chapter match or club match format tournament since then. So, but yeah, so that's kind of your melee divisions in a nutshell. Now, there is another melee division. It's 3v3. Okay?
Oh yeah.
This used to be a lot more prevalent
when the sport was a lot smaller.
When it was a lot smaller.
Absolutely.
You'll still find it with smaller teams doing chapter matches club matches, because that's all they can't get enough to do 5s. So that's really the only time you'll see a 3v3 fight now, is with smaller, newer teams. Hey, quick question on the subject of 3s. We run 3s a lot at practice.
Okay.
Right. We run 3s a lot, right? But we do it differently. Okay. We don't use the whole list.
We do
what we call half court, right? So we pretend that the 2 rail guys on the far side are locked in a pitch battle and they're grinding it out, and nobody's got advantage and nothing's happening over there. Okay.
That's a tar pit.
It's a tar pit, right? And so we take one rail, and that rail is going to be the active rail. Okay. And you're going to have a 2v2 fight going on there, and then we'll have 2 centers that will come in. We'll delay the center's entrance into that fight by anywhere between 10 to 30 seconds.
So that they still kind of mess with each other a little bit.
So that gives you the 5v5 feel for practice, right? Okay, almost all of it for practice, but you're using half court. Right. It's also great for teams that don't have a full list. If you've only got like a list corner set up, you can still do
Great way to do it.
It's a great way to practice. So highly recommend doing that. We do that all the time, and a lot of times if we have a practice where we don't have enough guys, sometimes we'll run with just 5 dudes. So and then your center comes in on wherever he thinks he can make the biggest impact. He ain't on nobody's team till he shows up.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's a really good way to get some live fire rounds in. Just pro tip. All right. What we got? Oh, another thing, news related. If you are in the Midwest, you should be going to Kansas City in, I think it's 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks? Okay.
So if not, get in touch with the Kansas City team. They're hosting a training event with Brett, Mikey, and Adam from the Warlords. So you got 3 top tier fighters coming over to do a big training event in the Midwest, and you guys should be there. I'll post the actual date and the link to the event page right down there. So you guys can.
It'll also be on our Facebook page. Look out for that.
So
also, have we finished making our TikTok?
You sent me the link, and then I couldn't make it work.
Okay.
So
we do have a Twitter now. We have our Instagram is waiting to be made too.
Man, that poor guy mowing my yard back there is he's struggling.
Yeah,
I got one of the neighborhood kids mowing my yard today, and
he's earning his check.
He's earning his keep because it's been raining and my yard hasn't been mowed, and it's about 1.5 feet tall. And he's stalling the lawnmower out. I feel bad for him.
He should sling blade it first. That's really what you do with that. You sling blade it down and then you go over with the more. But I know you don't want to do that.
Hit it with a yo-yo, baby.
Yep, exactly.
So if you guys don't know, a yo-yo is a modern version of the scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to look at it. So, but yeah, cool. What else we got news going on?
We got that. We did that.
War in the North, baby.
War in the North.
War in the North. I'm stoked about it now. That's my favorite tournament, and it's still gonna continue to be one of my favorite tournaments.
It's gonna be for Bullhead International points now. So how does that factor into the points?
So I think there is now again, we should actually have a
we should have
podcast
some knowledge of this
where we bring in somebody from BI to explain the points and how all that stuff works.
That's a great idea.
So
you know what?
If you a who's who in BI, hit me up. You can get to Dallas, or one of the BI folks that is in Dallas. I know there are several of you. Come on the show and
talk about it.
And you guys can help us explain how BI points work, because neither one of us actually know.
Yeah.
For us, the points are made up and the rules don't matter.
True. I'm just here to fight, big dog.
But I am pretty sure that 12s has its own competition for championship via points. Okay. So in America, that's usually the only 12 tournament BI has done for years. Is there's a 12s tourney after the 5s tourney at Carnage.
At Carnage, yeah.
So
it'll be nice to get other 12s events in there, man. Maybe we can get those guys from the East Coast to finally get out of their hole and fight.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Hey,
we'll see.
If you're on the East Coast, come to.
Yeah, man, come play with us, dog.
Come to North in Minnesota.
We miss y'all.
Yeah. So, though that event in Maryland is going on the week before.
The week before, okay.
So that's going to be
that's not happening.
We're going to Maryland.
We are going to be in Maryland, so we'll be on the East Coast.
So the Warlords will be in Maryland, and then we're turning around, coming back to Dallas, and then we get back to Dallas. Then 2 days later, we leave for Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a week.
Yeah,
it's going to be quite a week.
Yep. So that's what you do when you're chasing points for Prime. So and because we have the Carnage curse, we never get any points at Carnage.
Yeah. That's got to be on the man. That's got to be on.
You know how much easier our season would be if we could just actually score points at Carnage one year in the 5s, man. It's been so bad. So bad. So, oh man.
Yeah, I didn't believe in the Carnage curse until this year, Doug.
Dude, it's something happens every year, man. This year we got hit with 3. Like, we didn't realize Austin wasn't actually going to be on the team until way too late to get a sub, right? Because we had a communication screw up.
Yeah.
And then you were late, as per usual.
Last time when I was on time, I had the worst tournament ever.
And then BJ filled the battle bus with gasoline instead of diesel. So with those 3 things combined, we didn't have enough guys to actually fight at Carnage.
Yeah. And man, everybody was in rare form. Everybody was in rare form too. That was the time.
Yeah, that was a very sad trip to Carnage.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Opportunities will come.
Yeah.
More of them, hopefully.
So maybe next year. Maybe next year we can actually get a 5s team to Carnage.
We need to hold a seance. What do we need to do for a curse? We need to what we got?
You know what? We should bring in a Catholic priest for an exorcist. Have him banish all the demons.
That'd be great, man.
Something, dude. Oh,
Get
Carnage
a
kicked our-
tarot card reading.
Yeah, like we won it 2 years in a row. I think it was 2 years in a row, and then we got second, and then I think we had a 5-way tie for third, and then since then it's been like just
Oh man,
us like we've DNF'd every year since then.
that 5-way tie for third sucked too because
was rough.
Man,
I think they went to I think it was 4 or 5 teams that we ended up tying for third.
pull my damn hamstring fighting against the Iron Lions.
Yeah.
And I'm just useless for
So
most of the rest of that tournament. Ugh.
All right, so we covered the Warner North update. Important to get this out there. We don't want to get any false information out there. And on our podcast we released yesterday, I'll actually put a card over that section linking to this, so we get to get everybody. Not everybody's.
Hey, listen.
Going, what are they talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, want the rants to be current and right.
We want the events to be current.
So we've got. I think there's now 4 BI tourneys this summer left, because they just had Grapes of Wrath, which is BI, and then they've got 4 more going on. So, and we just wrapped up last weekend, which you guys just saw Greg on the show. Last weekend we had the IMCF singles tournament, but it wasn't just a singles tournament. They had triathlon, and you weren't here for this, but Greg agrees with me.
Oh, with the pole?
Triathlon should be polearm, not
dog.
delete sword and buckler.
I agree, man.
There's
no need.
So IMCF, delete sword and buckler. Nobody actually likes that shit, except the people that fight sword and buckler.
All I'm gonna say is,
and they can fight sword and shield.
It'll be real interesting to see how people adjust to that. It's real interesting to see.
I would love to see it happen right now. It's sword and shield, sword and buckler, which are the same damn event, just different rules, and then longsword.
Man, longsword or shield, longsword, and pole.
Yeah,
perfect, man.
Yep.
I'd even take a short axe or
short
a
axe,
long axe.
yeah.
Like first, maybe you want a first to 3 or first to 5.
Go to long axe.
Yeah.
You could do a whatever axe division is the first to 5. You can do one of those, and then or make it throw a short axe in there and just let it run as a grapple heavy pro fight light or something, right?
There's
just something different, man.
Pole I think is the right way to do it.
Polearm is, especially if we'll have one of the divisions put back in the barrier. The rope was awesome.
Oh my, dude, I agree.
BI got rid of the rope.
Did they? No, that was the only.
So they put a thing in the fighters group on Facebook about voting on it, and then all these people were voting, but a lot of the guys who were voting don't actually fight pole, so I don't think they actually count. Now that said, even with that said, I was literally the only guy that was like, keep the rope. But the thing is, so the rope does suck if you don't have the back lines. Mm-hmm. If you put the back lines in, the rope is awesome.
Exactly.
But the rest also got to understand that the rules as they were written, you could aggress the rope. You could push that rope. You could take up any slack in the rope you wanted to, which means you had movement, but it didn't allow for grapples, and it meant that
you could still shove the guy.
Yep, and you had to stand and bang with the other guy, which is what we want to see out of polearm. Right?
Oh yeah.
If you don't have that, you end up with just a grapple fest like
when
you were trying not to die to
and I'll do it again.
Oh my God, his name just evaporated.
Creedican,
yeah.
And I'll do it again. I'll do it again.
That was the lowest scoring singles tournament fight I've ever seen.
I'll do it again. I'll do it again for a silver medal. I'll do it again. I'll do it twice.
So we fought Creedican in a gold medal round a long time ago at this point. And
birthday fights.
He just hugged him for 3 minutes.
I wasn't gonna. Nah.
Because Creedican hit him one time, and he's like, nope, that's enough.
Yeah, you were not gonna. I was not gonna die on my 25th birthday. No, sir.
So
nah.
Yeah.
But some of the best polearm fighting I've seen was with the rope. Like some of the old Jeff Galley polearm fights with the rope.
Yep, Jeff Galley, really good. He's now retired.
Man.
He was kind of the reigning polearm champ for a long time.
That dude was a dog. Like nobody. Like I am a Simon fanboy. I am a ginormous Simon fanboy. That guy to me is Superman. Giant fanboy of his. But Jeff Galley was just it was a whole different thing. Simon was gonna knock you out, but Jeff Galley, he's gonna keep throwing those shots. He's gonna keep peppering you with those shots. You're not gonna block most of them anyways, but if you do,
he the OG polearm dude in the U.S.
Whew.
He was good.
Ooh,
very good,
man.
And then
Man.
right now, I think the fighter with the most similar style to that is Zale. Zale.
Okay.
He's the Polearm guy that won the Wandering Sword.
Okay. Gotcha.
And fighting him was an experience. And then because he got first, Austin took second, and I took third. Fighting those two, those two guys are top tier polearm fighters for different reasons. Austin's just going to hit you till you quit fighting. Yeah. And he's going to hit you hard every single time. Zale's not going to hit you that hard, but he's going to hit you a whole lot more than you hit him.
He's going to just tap you.
I mean, none of them are taps.
Oh yeah.
Like it's polearm still, but it's not that. I ceded the match to Austin because I blocked a shot and I thought he broke my hands. He didn't hit me in the hands. Just the impact from blocking the shot, like boom, block, and it wasn't a tabletop, right?
It's just a block, just a regular shot.
Just turned and blocked it, boom, and like I had bruised palms.
Yep.
From blocking that shot. He hits so freaking hard.
That'll do it.
So, but that was the last. I think that was the last tournament to go underneath the rope. So, because we had a rope at that tournament.
Oh God!
It was rope with backer lines. And I again, that's a hill I will die on.
I think the
fighting at the barriers with polearm. That's the way it should be. That is the traditional late period polearm tournaments were done that way.
Man,
and I like that. Now I think the barriers that you see depicted are actually wooden list barriers.
Oh, so they're like actually fighting over a wall, kind of.
Yep. Okay. But I like the rope.
Almost like fighting over a shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I really like the rope.
You know what, Charlie, man? I think we've been talking about this behind the scenes for a little bit. I think it's time we gotta just propel the Boards Love podcast to where it needs to be. I think it's time for me and you to start training for some AMMA matches.
Oh God, Charles.
He wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it if I hadn't have brought it up in front of y'all.
Like that.
So here's what I'm gonna do this. I know.
You know how many big bastards there are in the 250-pound weight class?
I know, because I'm also there. A problem shared is a problem halved. So I'll say, how about this? Have we found a new place to have the Friday night fights?
No.
Okay. Perfect. So that means that it is what? It's April 8th, May, June. In June, I'll be ready for a pro fight. I'll come down to Houston and they can pick my opponent.
Are we going to do a pro fight in Houston?
We'll do pro fights in Houston. Yeah.
Okay. We'll get in touch with Tanner and Taylor, whoever. I think it's Tanner and Taylor putting that on. Tanner, let me know whichever one of your guys is actually putting that on, and we'll get in touch with them, and we'll see if we can schedule a fight with y'all in June.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Hey man,
I hate you.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened, man. We gotta
calling me out like that, man.
Sometimes we gotta just get it going.
I'm gonna train for a pro fight. It's so much cardio.
You know what's great? I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping in a car right now, and I'm with it.
I'm not with it.
I'm with it.
Just not.
So, if any of you guys see me in the woods, you know who you are. Hitting a stack of tires with no shirt on with an axe. Mind your business.
What axe? You ain't got an axe right now.
I do. I still got that max weight crescent axe. That thing is never going anywhere.
Axe I made 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's like 45 pounds.
It's back when everybody wanted a max weight axe, and now nobody swings a max weight axe.
Nobody does it. Watch, like I said.
These are really hard to swing, and only certain people should swing them.
Yeah.
So
the people that should swing them should probably have a felony charge too, because Jesus. Yeah, getting a max weight axe that fast is.
Yeah, if you. So one thing like you think as a fighter you want to swing a heavy axe, more weight, more impact, right?
And kinda, you're right, a little bit. You
can do the math if you really want to do the math. You can get load cells or accelerometers and put them on your axe haft, and then start putting weights on it, right? And then you can add weights to it
to see where your
optimal weight is.
Yeah,
sure. And you're looking for velocity. The heaviest weight that you can swing at a given velocity will give you the best impact. Okay, velocity is far more important for impact than weight.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, my favorite axe I've ever owned was that hollow-headed axe we talked about on a couple podcasts ago.
Oh man, yeah.
That axe was stupid light. It was min weight. It's the absolute minimum weight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was
wow. Okay.
And I thought it was not going to be all that great because it's a min weight axe. But I could swing it so fast. The first strike I did actually blew up a pauldron in Canada.
Oh wow.
Well, I went to a tournament in Calgary and it exploded a dude's pauldron. Boom. And it had, I think I put 3 dudes down in that round with that axe. Because it swung so fast. Like equipment matters to some extent when you get to a certain level. With axes, you want the lightest or the heaviest axe you can swing the fastest. And also you remember you got to swing it multiple times, right? You can't swing
you got
it.
to take that into account too.
So just when you guys are specking out your axe, or
when you're specking out your axe, first of all, put it down because you probably can't swing it. you probably can't
True enough. Now,
swing
one thing is like all the axe has now are heavier.
Yeah, true.
Right. So
True.
it's real hard. Like it's real hard to get a min weight axe these days because the Brett is basically supplying all the halves in the U.S. And I don't know if Europeans are still using tree branches. You might be. I don't know. But all the halves made in the U.S. are composite halves now. This is kind of like one of the dirty secrets of Booherd.
Yeah.
All right. We specify a wood haft, and nobody fights with a wood haft. Nobody. I mean, nobody does. They don't check. They can't actually check without destroying your axe. So everybody's breaking the rules. Yeah. All you AC guys, everybody's breaking the rules, and ain't none of you saying shit about it. All you. Yeah. Now, Brett may hate me for saying that, but what are you doing?
I was showing him the Zivia. It says
the camera won't focus that close, man.
Oh, Dr. Z. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry.
So, so that's one of the things. But because of that, the axes are actually safer because they don't break near as often. So you don't have heads flying near as often.
You don't have splinters.
It's actually better for the sport if we use a composite haft. I'm not against composite hafts. I'm against the way the rules worded. Nobody's playing by the rule. The rule has been generally accepted to be bad at this point, and it needs to be changed.
It's true,
right? So, but it also means that the axes in general are heavier. Okay, because they have some kind of a core in them that is a resin bonded something core, or a P or like a HDPE core, or there's a bunch of there are different ones, and I'm not sure which technology the current generation of Brett axes uses, or if you get them made somewhere else, whatever somebody else is using.
Also, it means that if I'm using my favorite axe in a tournament and I swing long with it, I get to still use my favorite axe for the rest of that tournament instead of breaking the head off of it.
Yep. I mean, back in the day when we were using just wood halves, I would bring 6 to 8 axes for Austin for every tournament.
Yeah, because he was breaking them.
There was one round at the tournament we were at that he broke every axe we had in that tournament on the same dude. He was pinned up in our back corner, and he would hit him once, the axe would shatter. We'd hand him another axe in, it would shatter. We'd hand him another axe in, it would shatter. He went through every axe that we had. We ran over to the Mythics bench, got all of their axes, brought them back, and he started breaking through their axes. So,
and the thing that's crazy is like a lot of times too, you'll be like, oh, I hit long, but that dude would break the axe half hitting dead on with it.
Yes.
And it would just.
Yep. So, but yeah, so like that's just kind of like one of the dirty little secrets of it's kind of like the armor thing. One of the reasons it doesn't say league minimum, it says recommended now for armor thickness is because they weren't checking it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't.
And I mean, you can.
You can't.
You totally can. So here's the deal. You totally can, and we totally should. All right, because somebody's going to die by getting their armor too thin, or get grievously injured at some point. Okay. What you do is you do it like racing. Okay. You take the team that wins. They're going to get their armor inspected, or at least one person's going to get their armor inspected on that team at random. At random.
That's really cool. That's actually really cool.
And that guy better be wearing good armor. His armor better be good, right? Because logistically, you're right. You can't check everybody's armor. But also, if you want to check thickness on armor, a set of calipers is like, I mean, you can pick up a set off Amazon, or Rockler carries eye gauging. You can pick up a set of calipers off of them.
Nice ones for $50 a piece.
Not even that, like $30.
Yeah, and I mean,
you can actually check the thickness of the armor.
Yeah.
And
you
then you can see.
readout.
It's digital readout. Yeah, like you can check and see. And it's not that difficult. And what you do is you spot check the guy, and maybe you spot check a couple other teams before the tourney starts. Hey, you got your ticket punched. Guess what? And then that way that there's nobody's getting advantage. Now the reason this is important, okay, one, for safety.
Yep.
Two, let's talk about this. All right, let's say I'm running league recommended armor, 1mm titanium, and then 1.5 over the spine. I think that's still recommended league recommended for titanium. Last time I checked, that was league recommended for titanium. I could be wrong.
For titanium, yes, I think you're.
I think I'm right, but I could be wrong
because it was different for steel.
You know what we should actually do? We should do a rules podcast going over all the updated rules.
That's a great
for the new
idea.
rules. We'll put that on the list of stuff to do. But let's work with those numbers for right now, because it's easy math, and I've been hitting the head a bunch. If you're running 1mm titanium, okay, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to run pro fight armor.
0.8, right?
Okay.
So.
They're dropping down below 1.
Okay.
So we're even down. Some guys running 0.6.
Woo.
Okay. Now for a pro fight, you can get away with that because this sword and shield might be a little ouchy, but you're not going to get really injured. You may get bruised and beat up. You walk into that with a melee.
And I'm going to put my X through your
I've seen teammates of mine that had titanium armor that was below that league minimum back and get holes punched in it. I've seen other guys with below league minimum armor get holes punched in it.
Your full breastplate that is well over league minimum.
Yeah,
has a hole in it from.
It doesn't have a hole. It has a big dent.
Has a dent. Oh yeah.
A big cannonball sized dent from getting hit. If that was under league minimum, that would be a hole.
Yeah, we wouldn't have the Board is Love podcast.
Man, that Kenny dude smoked me.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, so
that's a 20%.
So from a safety thing, but what you just said,
that's a 20% weight reduction.
It's a 20% weight reduction. Okay, so if I take titanium and I shave it down from 1mm to 0.8 millimeters, I shave 20% of the weight off of my kit. That's a performance advantage.
That is a huge
performance
especially
advantage.
at the top of the sport where the difference is 2-3%.
Okay.
Yep.
So we should be checking the weight of armor.
True.
Right? It's the only way to keep it on a level playing field. Right? Okay. Now, as warlords, we could all run 0.8 armor because we don't get hit anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? Because our team is at a level where you're probably not going to hit me with an axe. Mm-hmm. Right? However, shit happens. Right?
And also,
maybe 0.8 is safe. Maybe 0.8 is safe. Mm-hmm. I don't actually know. We're just putting numbers out. Okay? I don't have any hard evidence to say 0.8 is unsafe.
Yeah.
I will tell you 0.8 hurts a whole lot more to get hit in than 1mm. Right? If you're running 1mm titanium and 1.5mm titanium, 6AL4V, not grade 2. I don't know. I think it's OT5, OT4, OT whatever the Russian bullshit is. I don't do commie titanium.
A lot of numbers.
But in America, it's 6AL4V, and which is grade 5, or grade 2 titanium, which is basically pure titanium. Mm-hmm. Grade 2 is as strong as mild steel.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And grade
5, 30% of the weight.
It's 30%. It's something like that. It's maybe it's a 30% weight reduction. I don't actually know off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. It's lighter, but just as strong. Okay. Now, when I say just as strong as mild steel, grade 2 holds up better than mild steel. Okay. But it is not as good as 6AL4V, and you should be making your armor out of 6AL4V if you're doing American titanium. Okay. In Europe, go get you an old Russian helicopter. I don't know what that titanium.
Sure, they got those laying around somewhere.
All right. There's apparently a bunch of them available right now.
Just talk to your local Ukrainian farmer. I'm sure he has a couple of them.
So, but 6AL4V at 1mm or 1.5 and 1.5 over the spine is arguably stronger than mild steel, or not mild steel, than hardened steel or spring steel or whatever they're calling it in the rule book, at league minimum. Or league recommended minimum steel for thickness. Okay, so it's lighter and stronger.
It's literally mithril.
Okay. So going to titanium is a big advantage over steel. Right? Now going to titanium and then going below the minimum recommended is an even bigger advantage.
Yeah.
Right? Now, again, 0.8 may be safe. 0.6 may be safe. I don't think 0.6 is. But 0.8 may be safe. I don't know. I hadn't done the studies. Couldn't tell you. However, I have seen axes get put through 0.8. I have not seen it happen in 1mm, 6AL4V. Okay, that doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means I haven't seen it. So now
I'm so nervous about getting any titanium on my kit.
You shouldn't be. I fought in a titanium brig for a long time. I was real. Now the difference is you have to pad it differently. Okay, titanium needs supplemental padding.
Okay, it's still
Because what happens? So with steel, we have a very there's. I'm going to butcher this because it's been a minute since I looked at this stuff. When you get the materials nerd side of things, titanium and steel deflect at different rates.
gotcha. Yeah.
So if I deflect steel enough to where it contacts my body, usually it has a dent, right? Like if you guys ever look at my brig or my chest plate, I have a big dent on the chest where Scott Turgeon put a huge axe strike on me when I was back against the list. So it was anviled against the list, and it just put this gigantic dent. Now, if that was titanium, the dent wouldn't be there. Okay, because in titanium, the dent will pop right back out, or you'll crack the titanium. Okay. It doesn't really have a whole lot of elastic deformation like steel does.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Okay.
So you could like technically beat out that.
I could beat the dent out. It's actually now at this point in time much smaller than it was because I keep getting hit, and it keeps everybody that hits me beats it out for me,
moving.
so it's moving around. So it's much smaller than it used to be.
Gotcha.
So
and then titanium, you don't get to do that; it just busts or.
Yes.
Also, it's more temperature sensitive too, isn't it?
No,
it's not. Okay.
Titanium is way more temperature resistant.
Oh, then steel. Yeah. Okay, nice.
So,
nice.
and titanium makes very good armor. Just you have to add supplemental padding because it's going to spring and deflect more, but it's not going to get dented, right? So you're gonna hit it hurts more to get hit in titanium. Does not mean it's any more dangerous, but it hurts more. It slaps you.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
There's more of an impact to your body. So you just put some foam on the inside of it or whatever, and it's fine, right? And honestly, guys, a lot of your top tier fighters, they're basically rocking full titanium kits at this point. Yeah. I will be making a transition to a hybrid titanium kit sometime this summer if I can get off my ass and actually finish making it.
Man,
so
I don't know about that.
I'm replacing replacing some of the more easier to make pieces of my armor in titanium. So
I also feel like this is
something I will tell all of you right now. Kyle Harris makes the best armor in the sport. Full stop. I will die on this hill because he uses 4130, which is that's just steel. Right. Somebody says I'm using. We call it in the automotive industry. It's chromoly steel or what. So when we're building tube chassis for cars and stuff, it's 4130.
That's the you said tube chassis.
That's tube chassis. So it's 4130 is just if you're gonna go get a hardenable steel, 4130 is probably what you're getting. It's the bread and butter. There's a reason it's bread and butter. It's really good and really cheap. Okay. Is it the best at holding an edge? No, but we're not doing that.
We don't care about that. Yeah.
So, but it is one of the best all-around steels in the world. Okay, and Kyle Harris's heat treating process for that 4130 is magic.
Pure magic.
I've been fighting a pair of his arms that are at least a decade old at this point.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And they are fantastic. There are I think there's a few minor dents in them. I mean minor, very small. Right. These arms have been. I don't fight with a shield, so I get
you get
right?
blown up. Yeah.
So they take a lot of punishment, and they are incredibly good. His metallurgy is probably the best in the sport. Man. Now, another steel that you guys are looking for on subject of steel, and we just kind of wandered here and chased this rabbit. 410 stainless.
410 stainless. Okay.
This is the unsung hero of Buert. Okay. The San Angelo guys turned me on to this. They make all their own armor, and they make some very beautiful.
Shout outs to them again, man.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the San Angelo guys.
They're awesome. They're armor nerds first and fighters second.
Yeah.
A lot of them do singles. They're primarily singles. I know they're trying to get a melee team together.
Some of the best looking kits
they do some
in
very
the sport,
honestly.
Yeah.
Yes, they make, but they do not sell them. You cannot contact them and have them sell them. I've tried to get them to sell their stuff. They're like, nah. Now, if you're in the area, they will probably help you make your armor. I can't speak to that. I know they've helped a lot of fighters in our area make armor. They helped me make a set of 410 stainless legs. 410 stainless is stainless. Yay! And it works like 4130. So before you harden it works like butter.
Okay.
It's super easy to move it and stuff. And then when you harden it, it's really comparable to a 4130 steel.
Oh damn!
So,
okay.
when
Kind of like the best.
Yeah.
So why would I want stainless instead of just regular hardened? What is the difference?
Have you seen your kit, Charles?
Huh?
That's why you want stainless.
It's in the car right now, and I'm afraid to open it. Yeah.
That's why you want stainless.
Okay.
Peasants fight in steel. All right. So what you really want?
I'm a man at arms, not a peasant.
None of us have squires out there polishing our armor after fights. Stainless and titanium.
Brennan does.
You terrible. You are terrible, Charles. Stainless steel armor allows you to some of the properties of titanium in the fact that it doesn't rust.
Okay, gotcha.
So kit maintenance is less. Now that doesn't mean you can ignore your kit, because if you take your kit, throw in a bag and forget about it for 6 months, all your straps, all the cloth in your kit is going to be mildewed and molded, and your straps are going to bust, and it's going to be terrible. But it does keep your armor from rusting. Okay, so you have far fewer problems with rust and corrosion. And 410 is not going to be any stronger than 4130 once it's hardened. It'll be right in the same ballpark.
Gotcha.
There are other stainless steels that are
maintain.
Also good. I just really like the way 410 worked when we worked with it in San Angelo.
Nice.
And the materials properties of it look really, like if you start looking at it on looking at all the modules, elasticity and hardnesses and all that good stuff, it's really similar to 4130.
Okay.
Huh. And the weight is not much. Like when you go league minimum with, because as a stainless steel you can also go to league minimum with.
I feel that's
league minimum recommended.
The minimum recommended in steel, I feel perfectly safe.
Well,
my legs are.
Minimum recommended in steel is thinner than titanium. Titanium is recommended to be thicker than steel. Last time I checked. Okay, somebody said, "Bi, if you've updated the rules this, because I know you just launched your spring update. If you've updated the spring, I'm sorry, I could be wrong. Sorry, but last time I checked, league minimum for titanium was 1 mil, and for steel was 0.8. So, but yeah, so that's kind of the materials in a nutshell. We've wondered all over the place.
We've gone all over the place. It's a good recap episode, honestly.
So, then kind of nerded out on some materials for armor, but yeah, it's kind of basically what you'll see the three big groups of what we make armor out of is stainless steel, regular old hardened steel, which in America is probably 4130, and then you got titanium, which in America should be 6AL4V. Though some guys are using grade 2, you probably shouldn't. It's not unsafe, but it's just not going to last very long. It's still expensive. Put in the work to do 6AL4V. Now, shout out to Mikey. Okay. Michael Johnson on Facebook. Dude is making pro fight armor out of titanium right now.
It is, and
it's
good stuff.
It's legit.
Yeah,
it is probably the best pro fight armor you can get right now. So,
as far as like
he ain't
price
paying me to say that. I don't pro fight.
As far as price per unit,
it's very reasonably priced. I'm not going to quote any prices on there because I could be wrong.
Gotcha.
It's very reasonably priced, and I know that several of your top MMA fighters are wearing his stuff.
That's a shining endorsement. Right
Taylor
there.
Jones is rocking his stuff.
All right.
So he's also currently doing redoing a bunch of the melee team's armor for Warlords. So
excellent. He's gonna be. You guys will probably notice I'll have my nasal back soon. He's gonna be putting the mail on my nasal so I can finally get that boost back.
Hit Michael Johnson up on Facebook and see if you can order some titanium kit, because he's making some really solid stuff. Now it's all floating elbows and floating knees, which I won't fight in that, but
it's great for pro fights.
It's great for pro fights. I'm not doing the pro fights because my pro fights are all axe fights.
Not mine.
All right, so we'll talk about one more aside before we wrap this up. Floating elbows. Y'all lie.
Okay.
Y'all lie.
What?
Most of y'all aren't fighting in floating elbows to say you're fighting in floating elbows. You're fighting on shittily articulated elbows, because you take those elbows and you point them on a piece of leather to your van brace or rear brace.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Or they point all three together. Okay, you've got shittily articulated armor.
It's not. Right? So it's not actually floating.
It's not actually floating. Floating armor. So a floating elbow or a floating arm harness. Okay, you should never fight in floating legs. Never. All of you.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
All right. So you get an ostrich knee.
Oh yeah.
All right. So for those that aren't, when we talk about floating versus articulated, articulated is what you think a knight's armor should look like. It moves with you.
Exactly.
It's got sliding rivets or moving rivets or whatever, and it articulates with your arm motions. Okay. When you have floating arms, these are usually fought with by the peasants, or the men at arms. The lower downs are wearing this kind of stuff.
The dismounted soldiers.
These guys and your forearm armor is pointed to your gambeson. Your elbows pointed to your gambeson, and your rear brace are pointed to your gambeson. But nothing is pointed together.
Oh.
Okay. Now, what a lot of guys in Boohurt do is they will take a piece of leather and they will point all three together on the leather and make it a really shittily articulated set.
So it's kind of like a mix between the two.
It's a mix between the two.
Okay, interesting.
And leather hinges are just bad.
Yeah,
they're just bad.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people say they love their floating arm harness, they don't actually have a floating arm harness. Now, some guys out there are actually using a floating arm harness, especially in singles. Some guys, most of them are not. Okay. So just be aware of that if you're a new fighter and somebody says they're using floating arms. In my opinion, you should never fight in floating legs.
I've had the same articulated legs that I got made for me years ago, and they still work great.
The reason I can still walk today is because of my Red Snake articulated legs. I picked up literally 30 minutes before.
Honestly,
Jean-Luc
Alexis
fucktard.
Yeah,
try to give me an ostrich knee.
Yeah, fucking Alexis. Those same legs I got from Alexis. Same guy got.
He did the same thing to you.
Yeah, same thing. And you can see my knee. You can see my armor basically stop me from.
We should actually see if we can find the video and like put it somewhere in here
of
him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
he's banned from the sport now, so we can talk all the shit we want.
He got a 2-year break. He got a 2-year break.
Hopefully he never comes back. So
yeah.
For the TLDRs, when we were in Mexico, this guy decided to try to basically turn a bunch of people's knees backwards.
Yeah,
and it was targeted. He did it repeatedly.
Yeah.
In the round there was a very egregious video of Charles, and then mine was like you ever watch one of those videos where you're like, oh God,
or you're like, oh, he's hurt. Yeah,
and you're like, oh, right, and that was. Imagine watching that video, but you're the guy in the video,
bro. Yeah, like he's not lying. He got those legs, and I was like, you should put those legs on now. And he was like, I don't know. I said, just do it. He's like, all right. And he took, because I think you had to switch the knees out, right?
Well, no, what it was is I didn't want to buy the legs, but Cyrus came over and he was like, hey, Red Snake has some legs, and you need new legs because my legs are 8 years old. The wings on them were bending and nearing fatigue levels of breaking. Like they were, like, and basically Adam and Mikey were like, if we lose a match because your freaking armor breaks.
Yeah, like.
And I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I'll go buy them.
Saved his knees.
And Red Snake, shout out to Red Snake Armory
straight up.
In Mexico. He fitted them to me, put them on my leg harness.
Yeah.
Refitted, so because most people use point ties. I don't use point ties, I use straps.
Mm-hmm.
So he
got them right.
Them so it
they got them right.
Fitted perfectly, and his legs lock out before your knee does.
Yep, they got them right.
So because of that, when Jean-Luc Fucktard decided to decided to kick my knee backwards.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I just had a hurt knee. It was unpleasant.
Yeah.
Rather than
compound ACL, MCL, LCL tear. It was.
But I'll see if I can find the video and we'll put it somewhere around here and see if we can show y'all what that looked like.
Man,
that was
rough.
That was spicy.
Woo. Yeah.
So, all right. I think that's all we got for today.
A little bit over time. We're good though.
We chasing rabbits. So, all right. I'm Charlie.
I'm Charles.
We do this every time.
Wait.
Actual sponsor time, guys.
Oh yeah, actual sponsors.
All right. Hit us up at merch.boohertislove.com. You guys will see. So hopefully, if I get around to editing it, see some of the shirts floating around here. Boom.
We should start wearing those.
We really should.
We should start wearing those shirts.
We should just put some on a coat on a coat hanger right over there, so we can change into them for the podcast. We should wear our own merch, Charles.
But I feel like that's kind of pretentious.
So
yeah, that's fair.
They're solid shirts.
That's fair. They are nice.
I mean, the Only Bonk shirt.
The Only Bonks. I like the Only Bonks. Only Bonks.
Right. And then what else we got? We got
Texas.
Come and take it.
Come and take it.
Over here. And then there's I forget what we got 3.
Jesus Texas Tacos.
Oh yeah, Jesus Texas and Tacos.
Bro, come on.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So, and then also artisandice.com. Guys, use code BooHurtIsLove at checkout. All right, that's going to get you a free set of dice. Add into your order.
Whoa, a whole free set of dice?
Free set of dice. So
all right.
Just type in BooHurtIsLove at checkout, and you will get an entire free set of dice with your order.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys on the next episode. I'm Charlie.
I'm Charles.
And you're watching Boo Hurt Is Love.
He's the pretty one.
Don't forget to visit us at all the socials, because they'll finally be up now.